The Regional Hospital of Diabetes Day on Friday, November 14, 2025. Exciting matches and community spirits. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is the primetime newscast on Abakwa Television. We start off today at the Regional Hospital of Bamenda, where they commence November 14, 2025 with free diabetes screening and education through till the 21st of November at the hospital site. Sonka
World Diabetes Day was celebrated by the Diabetic Hypertension Unit of the Regional Hospital Bamenda on the 14th of November 2025.
That we need to create awareness, we need to sensitize the public on the risks of diabetes and the complications that involve when you have diabetes. So we thought it wise that sensitizing the public and creating awareness on diabetes will go a long way to solve many of their health challenges in the Northwest region as a whole.
At 8 a.m., the day's campaign activities began with an effective march past by the staffs singing songs of diabetic awareness.
Preventing diabetes is better than treatment. Preventing diabetes is better than treatment.
A meeting was held in the hospital hall to educate the staffs and about 100 community members who came for the free diabetic testing as announced by the hospital. The meeting began with a morning devotion led by Reverend D4 from the Cameroon Baptist Convention.
Like we've seen this morning, is an account of the birth of John the Baptist.
And a welcome speech by the General Director, Dr. Dennis.
Together again for hear about this sick. When we know send a sick way, it touch all man. And so once we don't know, say the sick don't come for we know say we feel handle them. As when I make and see pictures them for here. See some big people there when they will start with diabetes when they will then a begin. I think with specialists, pediatrician and endocrinologists will show me that picture there. Where we will see how people have been the one diagnosed with diabetes, where they begin. Until he then are 70, 80 years, he then a big footballer. So one then a big magistrate them.
A diabetic sermon for the workplace by Madame Forclaudet, the regional focal point for the control and management of non-communicable disease, Northwest.
The workplace should be a place that encourages holistic diabetes care, both biological, psychological, and social. The diabetic patient at the job site should also be able to interact with fellow colleagues. They should not be discriminated. The person should not be like, because you have diabetes, they cannot give you certain tasks at workplace. Or because you have diabetes, you are stigmatized. At the workplace should not stigmatize person living with diabetes. The workplace should encourage person living with diabetes to manage his condition positively and manage it well.
And the type of diabetes that exists was explained by Dr. Fominki Cecilia.
So how would they classify diabetes? Type 1 day. First way get type 1 and only insulin must take. Type 2 day. That person fit take tablet. That person still fit take insulin. Type 5 na new one where they still work on. Gestational diabetes na type person get they will then it develop diabetes. And then atypical diabetes now.
Clinical psychologist, child and adolescent trauma expert took a detailed explanation on the availability of psychosocial support for diabetic patients.
This morning equally, I also let them know that diabetes is a condition and it is not a death sentence. So if you have somebody who is living with diabetes, we should encourage them to let them know that it is only a condition. And when you follow the rules, the regulations and the educations that is being given on a daily basis in our clinic, we realize that you'll be able to have a very healthy life.
The lectures rounded up with a nutritionist who explains why diabetic patients should have a diet and what kind of nutrients is required, and she cleared the air on what people say diabetic diet is.
That means so we focus on the quantity for the various jobs and for measures so we choose one the way if you can't ever was keep more. So basically a diabetic diet that.
There was a question and answer session to better answer the worries of the audience.
And then you cut away your head. Yes.
Furthermore, in what's making news in Bamenda, full gospel pastor and renowned leader in the body of Christ in Bamenda and the Northwest region, Reverend D4 is currently receiving medical care after sustaining an injury from a murder attempt on Saturday night, 15th November 2025. Reports say that around 7 p.m., assailants pursued him and fired shots which took him at his left hand as he made his way home. Despite the pain, Reverend D4 managed to reach the compound of a fellow believer and neighbor who assisted him in getting to the hospital, where he was quickly attended to. Senior ministers and church leaders from various denominations have been offering prayers and messages of encouragement for his swift recovery. The first two matches of the Mulang football tournament took place on Sunday, November 16, 2025, bringing together members of the Mulang community and neighboring communities. The first edition of the tournament, sponsored by Mr. Ayim Kesh, is scheduled to run from the 16th to the 20th of November 2025. The activities began with a kickoff orchestrated by Quarterhead of Mulang and Ma Esther Lum, mother of the official sponsor. More in the details with Sonka Williams, who was at the scene.
The opening match, which took place at the Alo Stadium Mulang, featured Tamlung FC and Youngstar FC. Tamlung started strong, dominating possession and scoring 3 goals in the first half. In the second half, Youngstar FC showed determination, managing to pull 1 goal back, but it wasn't enough to overturn their deficit. The match ended 3-1 in favor of Tamlung FC. The second match, which saw New Mexico FC face off against Qualifier FC in a thrilling contest. New Mexico took an early lead, scoring 3 goals in the first half. Qualifier fought back in the second half, scoring 3 goals of their own to equalize and then taking a 4-3 lead. In the final minute, New Mexico managed to score again, leaving the game and concluding the match with 4-4. In an interview, the youth president of Street 1 Mulang, Ngwa Dennis, greatly appreciated the initiative, affirming that it falls in line with one of the social policies of the quarter in enhancing youth unity.
This sporting activity, these football matches, they fall in line with one of the social policy of the quarter to keep the youth together. I think that for a very long time, because of the crisis, as we all know, the quarter has not yet had a tournament or a competition or a social event of this magnitude. We can only love our support and our love to Ayim, who has started wise during this end of year to bring together the youth of Mulang in particular, and generally the youth of the Northwest and the youth of Cameroon. I think that everybody is happy. We are happy to see our faces again out. We are happy to see some of our long-time brothers that we have not seen them, but this tournament, this competition has brought them together, and we pray that it should go on successfully, and we plead that more sponsors should copy this example, join Ayim to bring in many of such competitions in the quarter.
A spectator speaking on behalf of the Mulang youth also explained that the match serves as a relief for the quarter, given what they have been facing since the inception of the crisis in Bamenda.
Due to the team we face the competition, also they create an because compact and unity. Some man no campaign because they don't like to do. They campaign because they want unionization. That's unity. So that's all I can say. And then I really appreciate the governor, and I appreciate all those who come here because it's been very good.
Speaking with one of the members of the organizing committee, he expressed his appreciation to the sponsor and his joy regarding the massive turnout at the field.
Anyway, I want to thank each and everyone who make out time to come to this tournament. One time our brother Mr. Ayim Ketch, we know they are around, he decided to make a tournament to bring peace and solidarity to the quarter. So he bring people then together. I want to see the massive turnout will come out for the tournament. I would pray the tournament will go further.
The first day of the Mulang football tournament highlighted skill, determination, and the strong spirit of the community involved, promising more thrilling matches in the days ahead.
We proceed to Yaounde, where a network of traffickers masquerading as students has been busted in Yaounde. For several weeks, a group of young dealers have been infiltrating a bilingual secondary school, carrying out violent attacks, theft, drug sales, and even issuing kidnapping threats. The incident exposes ongoing security lapses in schools and the troubling surge in youth delinquency in the capital. The situation came to light at the Petu Bilingual Institute after the Dean of Discipline, overwhelmed by frequent reports of violence and suspicious individuals wearing school uniforms, alerted the 1st Gendarmerie Region. Investigators from the Judicial Research Unit launched an inquiry and uncovered a structured network: imposters entering classrooms, selling cannabis, intimidating students, and scouting for potential recruits. A disturbing method that shows how easily some groups manage to blend into school without immediately raising alarm. The situation is still under investigation as the administration tries to get the people involved. In foreign news, a landmark of $1 billion investment agreement has been sealed between the government of Zimbabwe and Dangote Industries Limited, marking one of the country's most significant private sector deals in recent years. The accord was signed in Harare in the presence of top government officials and senior executives of Nigerian conglomerates. Schneider Williams tells us more in the report. The signing ceremony brought together Aliko Dangote, President and CEO of Dangote Industries, Zimbabwe's Minister of Finance and Investment Promotion, Thuli Nkube, who signed on behalf of the government, Devakuma Edwin, Dangote's Vice President for Oil and Gas, and President Emerson Nagagwa, who officiated and endorsed the deal. Speaking during the event, Aliko Dangote praised the country's improved business environment and emphasized that the multi-sector investment will accelerate Zimbabwe's industrial growth.
I've just actually signed agreement between Zimbabwe and Dangote Group to do various investments in various sectors, some of which, of course, in a broader decision in cement, some of it in power generation, some of it in pipeline to bring petroleum products. You know, we're in the business of producing oil. We have the largest refinery in the world, single lane, in Nigeria, and we want to bring it to Walvis Bay and then pipe down here. So there are a couple of...
According to the terms of the agreement, Dangote Industries will invest across key economic sectors, including cement production, coal mining, power generation, fertilizer manufacturing, and a major regional fuel pipeline project. The most ambitious element of the deal is the construction of a 2,000-kilometer fuel pipeline linking Walvis Bay in Namibia through Botswana into Zimbabwe. The infrastructure is expected to transform Zimbabwe's access to refined petroleum products and strengthen supply security for the South African region. The $1 billion deal is expected to be implemented in phases, with the preliminary groundwork scheduled to begin immediately. In sports, the indomitable Lions of Cameroon were knocked out of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers after a 1-0 defeat to the Democratic Republic of Congo on Thursday, November 13, 2025. The tightly contested semi-final clash remained goalless until stoppage time, when Congolese captain Chancel Mbemba headed home a 90+1 minute winner from a Brian Sipenga corner. Cameroon created several chances through Brian Bemo and Vicente Abubakar, but failed to convert, while Democratic Republic of Congo held firm defensively throughout the match. The victory moved them into the final of the CAF playoff, where they faced Nigeria and obtained a chance to qualify for the 2026 World Cup, while Cameroon's qualification journey ended in disappointment. Over now to the qualification match between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Nigeria. In a high-stakes clash at the Prince Héritier Moulay El Hassan Stadium, the Democratic Republic of Congo stunned Nigeria in the 10th 2026 FIFA World Cup CAF playoff final, prevailing 4-3 on penalties after a 1-1 draw following extra time. More in the report. Nigeria thundered out of the blocks, taking an early lead through Frank Onyeka just 3 minutes in. His shot deflecting off a Congolese defender and into the net. But Democratic Republic of Congo responded with composed counterplay. A turnover in midfield allowed Mashak Elia to race forward and slot home in the 32nd minute, leveling the match. As the game progressed, both sides tightened up. Nigeria sought to exploit their early momentum, but DR Congo's discipline and organization, particularly in defense, kept them in check. Extra time offered few clear chances, and a late appeal for a Congolese goal was waved away, leaving the match to be decided by penalties, in which DR Congo brought on substitute goalkeeper Timothy Fayulu just before penalties, and he became the hero, saving twice. Captain Chancel Mbemba scored the winning penalty to send the Leopards through.
Against Cameroon, the man who almost scored a winner in this final, steps up and scores! And the
This victory cuts out Nigeria from the 2026 World Cup race, while Democratic Republic of Congo moves to the Interconfederation playoff in March, one step away from the World Cup. And with this, we have come to the end of the primetime newscast on Abakwa Television. This news was brought together by the entire English Desk team of Abakwa Television. The news was produced by Akongni Brandon under the supervision of